Hey everybody, I am David, and this is going to be my Black Panther review. I finally got the chance to see it, and as usual, I want to talk about it. So let's get right into this. Let's talk about this movie. This movie is a unique experience. Look, I'm not gonna call it the most amazing movie you'll ever see, but it definitely is in a conversation about some of the best superhero movies out there. I think a lot of people are really gonna be surprised with this one. Really, or maybe not, especially if you are someone that loves the MCU. This is a really nice addition. This is definitely, in my opinion, top five easily MCU films. I can see people easily putting this one in his top five. If some people are feeling like they're getting tired of the same old feel, obviously, if you've seen Thor Ragnarok, that was a very different feel from the rest of the MCU. And I think Black Panther takes it the next step further. Visiting this world of Wakanda was such a great experience. I thought this is a really amazing world that I loved being in for 2 hours. There were some parts of the movie that did take place in a more natural setting, but for the majority of the film, we do take place in the world of Wakanda, which was a really beautiful place to be in. CGI or not, look, CGI in this movie is amazing, and it helps elevate the film in many ways. I don't think it will win Best Special Effects. We'll have to wait and see how some other movies come out, but for the most part, it serves its purpose. I think the entire cast in this movie is amazing. We get some really solid actors, from Chadwick Boseman, who we saw him in Civil War, Captain America: Civil War, where we all felt his character was really strong in that movie, and we were like, okay, I can't wait to see more of this character. But I feel like this movie really fleshed him out and gave him a lot more personality and more to do. If you weren't sold over with him in Civil War, which I think you'd be a lunatic not to, I think he had great depth in that movie. This one gives him even more layers than he had in that film, which I really enjoyed, especially with the different supporting characters that he got to interact with, specifically Shuri, his sister, who I think is the heart of the movie. I went with my cousin's husband, who is from Jamaica, and I was curious to see what he'd think, because I'm starting to get him into these MCU films. So I knew how important Black Panther was going to be, so I wanted to see his reaction on this movie. And I was happy that he really enjoyed it, because a lot, and maybe so far his favorite MCU film, because he was talking about how there was some history in real life history in there with the African American culture, and I liked hearing that from him, his point of view from that, and how there was a lot of heart in this movie, and I agree. Which brings us to Killmonger as well. Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan in this movie, kills it. No pun intended. I think he is definitely a character. Like, if you're hearing this hype about Michael B. Jordan is the best villain since Loki, like, because the MCU doesn't have that great of a roster, I'd put him right next to Loki as one of the best MCU villains, definitely. Because in the beginning I was trying to look for it, because you don't really see him much in the beginning, but then when he really comes to play later on, they really sell you on this guy and how much depth he has as a villain. And yeah, it does make him a really more interesting villain than most of the MCU villains have been so far, if you want to compare it to that. And yeah, I definitely put him up there with Loki now as one of the all-time bests. And then we have Andy Serkis, who's also reprising his role from Avengers: Age of Ultron. We saw him in that movie, how he lost his arm. He returns in this movie, and he was a little bit more funnier this time around, because I think in the last one they didn't really give him a joke to play with. It was more James Spader's Ultron delivering the one-liners. But this one, he gets a little bit more funnier moments, I would say, and I'll leave it at that. No spoilers. Don't worry, everybody. I'm gonna save spoilers for my prediction review. My predictions. Yeah, for the most part, I really like the score in this movie as well. The score had that, I would say, an African feel to it. I even bought the soundtrack earlier this morning to listen to it before I went to go see the movie, and I noticed that as I was listening to it, there really is an African feel, an African beat to it once you listen to it. I'm not talking about the album. I actually haven't heard the album yet, but some of the songs were featured in the movie, so I got a little taste of that. Usually when it comes to music, I'm more into like the scores of film, and so with that, I really did enjoy the score. And I will say that I think that's it, guys. You know what? I'm giving this movie an 8.5 out of 10. This was a really strong Marvel film. One that I think many people are going to enjoy and want to see this over and over again. I already had my tickets for my second night, and I can't wait to go see it again tomorrow. It's going to be great. And I'm curious to see what my parents will think now of the movie. So with that being said, guys, I want to end this video here. If you've seen Black Panther, share your thoughts on the movie. I hope a lot of you really enjoy this one. I'll be surprised if you don't. Even people that normally don't go for the MCU, this is a really solid film that gave every character, I think, the justice that they needed. With that being said, 8.5 out of 10, that's my score. Leave your comments below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, share the video if you guys want. And until next time, take care.